All right, all right, all right.
Hey.
I'm here with Mary Cross, and we are excited because we
Yes.
have some great news for y'all. But I'm going to let Mary tell you what's going on. We've been working together for a while, and it's been amazing. That's
Yeah.
the best word I can say. Mary came to me about 2 years ago, I
Yeah.
believe.
Two
And,
years ago.
she's been performing live, and people were like, "Where's your single? Where's your single?" So me and Mary been knowing each other for years.
Yeah.
And she called me and said, "Listen, I want to work on a single." And, I was happy that she wanted to do it because I knew her voice, I knew the potential, and we dug in. And the first song we did was In Love There's a Risk,
Hmm.
um, which
Love it.
just hit me one day.
That's
And I said,
great.
"Mary, I got a song for you." And we did it. But now we finally got to the point where we did a new single that's coming out. And
Yeah.
I am excited. But again, I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'll let Mary share that excitement.
Yeah.
Um, but before we go into that, Mary, I just basically wanted to ask you, just get some, tell the audience about your brief background about your singing and how you got started and how that music bug hit you.
Oh my gracious. Well, I think it was I always loved music. That's the first thing. And I've always sang in
Hmm.
church. So coming from that kind of a background, I always was back and forth. And I remember even times when I'd run into you and you say, "So what are you doing with your singing?" I'd be like, "Oh, I'm singing in church." But that was pretty much it. But I
Hmm.
always had a love, a deep love for any kind of R&B, soul, classic soul music, jazz. I love all types and genres of music. I love Nora. I love Nora
Nora
Jones. I
Jones.
love Sarah
Hmm.
Bareilles, everybody.
Yeah.
So it never was the thing where I put myself in a box in regard to what I'd listen to, but I did
Okay.
enjoy it. So for me, it was just an opportunity to say, if we do this, like I love the live performances because I just like interacting with people and I love to sing. So we took it a step further when you did the single, and I had never thought about recording live. So this was a Oh, it's amazing. It's just a whole nother avenue I wasn't even thinking about. Because the one issue that we had that was what I call a challenge or a problem, most people have an extended play album or something out because they've got a accumulation of different music. Whereas I was just putting one song out to satisfy my audience. And then it was like,
Right.
what else do you have? And I was like, oh, I don't have anything else. So we kind of put the cart before the horse. So it was really
Right.
great.
Right.
And it was amazing. This whole ride has been amazing. And to see where we are now, I'm amazed.
Yeah, and I think the good thing is that, it was an experimental project. We just kind of said, okay, let's try something. And I know a lot of people compared you with the late, great Phyllis Hyman. So
Mhm.
the idea was like, not be Phyllis, but,
Right.
something that's kind of reminiscent of what she does.
Mhm.
And that whole idea of, as far as for me, from the production side, came from that element of listening to Phyllis and what was it
Mhm.
that, gave her vibe, and
Right.
you did an incredible job with it.
Oh,
But I
thank
think also is that when I think about your voice,
you.
I
Mhm.
hear uniqueness in your sound, even though, I hear a lot of the Phyllis Hyman elements, but
Right.
I think, we're at a point now where people miss that sound, they miss that voice, they want to
Mhm.
hear that type of sound again. And for you to be able to step in those shoes, and we know they're big
Yeah.
shoes, and be able to do such an awesome job with it, it's incredible. So I just want to commend you on the
Thank you.
great
Oh,
job
I
that you're
appreciate
doing when
that.
it comes to singing those type of songs, the classics. I love those lush
Mhm.
arrangements and those classic songs, and that's
Yes.
what really resonate with me. And I think that's kind of my forte, to bring that type of stuff back. So let's talk about this new
Oh, it
single
really
because
is.
we touched on a lot of those elements, and it's a little different than the first song.
Mhm.
it's got its classy vibe to it, but it's a little different, and it's coming out when you
Yes.
talk about it.
Oh my gosh, it's coming out on Friday, January the 8th, which is upcoming, and I'm
Hmm.
really excited. We when we came together with this idea, we must share how it came about. I was driving through Haddonfield and I felt the Lord just gave me this song, this melody was in my head, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, why can't I get rid of this thing?" It just kept resonating with me. So I pulled over and
Hmm.
I recorded it into a handheld recorder, and then I had this melody. It kept saying, promise that you promise that you promise. And I was like, what is this thing? It just wouldn't go away for days. So when I
Hmm.
came to you with that, and you took what was a thought and just some humming melodies and actually made it into a compilation, a beautiful score. It's just amazing from the moment the first note hits. It's dreamy. It's everything I described to you that I wanted, which was mystical, dreamy. I wanted it to have a certain kind of feel to it. And that is exactly what you delivered on. And that is a gift to be able to do that. But that song is standalone, a beautiful, beautiful song. That I got no words. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
for me, I mean, is this the first song that you've written or co-written? Okay.
Actually, it's the second we did that
Oh
both
yeah,
anthem. But
that's
yeah, this
right.
is the first one that came to
Right.
me like, I got a song.
Amazing. So really, yeah, the song you played the melody for me and I heard it and I was like, wow, that's a classic melody. It's easy to sing. People
Hmm.
will sing along to it
Yeah.
and it had that vibe. So
Hmm.
for me, it was okay. I hear where she's going and I want to just kind of add the ingredients and the things that I feel that's going to bring it to life.
Hmm.
But when I heard you sing it, I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, Mary, you're showing me a different part of you. You're not just a singer, but you're a writer too. There's some you got a lot of writing skills under
Oh.
there, and that's the great thing about collaboration is when two
Hmm.
people can come together
Yeah.
and put it together. And you mentioned something even before the interview about the chemistry and how people
Yeah.
work together.
Oh
It's so
yeah.
important that even though we have our differences, and that's everybody, you may
Yeah.
have your differences about things, but
Hmm.
when you can come together and still make that work, and there's a common, denominator, a common
Hmm.
thread that you both share,
Absolutely.
that's when the magic happens. And I
Yes.
felt that actually in this song, magic happened in this song. And also, we got the right players. We got Carl Cox, who did an
Yeah.
incredible job on the
Hmm.
saxophone. We got
Cedric Napoleon.
yeah, Cedric Napoleon on the upright bass, Randy Bowland playing
Yes.
guitar. We
Yes.
got some really great players. Um, Marcus Myers playing
Yes.
drums. So some really great things that really made this whole record come together because,
Hmm.
that's what I want y'all to get also. It's a team, it's teamwork. It's getting the right
Right.
ingredients, the right people
Hmm.
to make a record really come to life. And then I started hearing strings. So, I called my friend Kathy Thomas and Alberta Douglas, who came in and did the
Phenomenal.
strings on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
um,
amazing.
as we just can't, I'm excited. I can't wait till y'all hear it again,
Woo.
January 8th,
Yes.
right? That's
Yes.
the date the single's
That's the
coming
date.
out.
Yep. And
Um,
the lyric video is coming out that day too. But the
okay.
official music video is not coming out until January 15th, which is the week after.
All right. So we got the song, we got a lyric video and a music video coming
Yes,
out. Awesome.
exactly.
Awesome.
I know.
Awesome.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah. Now, what about, and I don't know if we talked about this a little bit, but the COVID thing happened and the holidays come.
Yeah.
Any type of release party or streaming live that we want to kind of do? I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah, I think so too. Would have to probably elaborate on it a little bit more, but I'm
Hmm.
thinking getting closer to Valentine's Day, that's a great outlet for people, and maybe things will get even better as the summertime approaches, and we'll be able to do some weddings or other things where people want to celebrate promise. And
Right.
just so to touch on that about what promise is and how it came about,
Yeah.
um, I always think about couples that have been married for long periods of time and nobody ever celebrates marriage, in that way. Like they'll say, oh, you've been married 10 years, 20 years, those big decades that people celebrate. And then sometimes your kids will celebrate them with you. But overall, a couple that's been married 1 year, 4 years, whatever, a lot of times it's just an intimate thing.
Hmm.
However, the song promises to celebrate anyone who has the scar, the war wounds, who has stuck in there, who has decided to stay together, who has made that vow or that commitment. And one of the things I'm most proud of, because I'm all about making sure that we do things that are inspiring, I
Right.
wanted to take real couples, whether it be from my church or from other environments that I know them in, real couples that actually are married and they've been married from 55 years through three newlyweds that were married this
Wow.
2020.
That's
So
awesome.
what I thought about was you want to celebrate that promise that people have made. And I wanted it to be real people in real time, not actors or any of that stuff. And so
Hmm.
for me, I just wanted people to know we're celebrating the promise that you made together. I don't care how long you've been married, if it's only been a day,
Right.
but we're just celebrating that. And that's where I think a lot of people's values are going back to, because of all the things that happened to us in 2020 and the
Right.
losses that took place. I think at this point, people are looking for love and seeing things almost as if with new eyes. So this is an opportunity for people to really celebrate that commitment, because that commitment is major and it is not without its war wounds, for sure.
Amen. That's
Oh
some good
my
stuff
God, we
there.
all
Yeah.
can say that for sure. So yeah, so it's important, and I think that that's something that we need to celebrate. And so for me to say that you've made that promise, that commitment to that person, and you want to make sure that you reiterate that, and they know, despite whatever else is going on, it's going to be painful and tears and heartache and all that other nonsense. You can
Right.
come back together after all said and done, and we can work through this. So it's not about how long a person's been married. It's more so about the idea of that promise and what that promise means to that couple or that individual. And I've been
Yeah.
counseled before, my husband and I. So we know what it's like when you deal with someone who's being very transparent about their life and what they've been through and how tough
Right.
it is, so you don't feel like you're alone in this when you go through those challenges, because they do exist.
That is great. That is great. Promise, commitment, values, all that plays such a big part in how things are going to work out. That's so key. And it's great that you're putting songs out. And that's one of the things I love, putting songs out to inspire people. So
Yeah.
that leads me to the question about Inspire and your company. Um, can you just give us a backdrop on your company and the name of it and everything? I'm seeing it
Yeah.
behind you.
Oh
So
yeah.
let's talk a
Right.
little bit about that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So my whole thing has always been about everything that I do or get myself involved in. I believe it's important to make a difference and to inspire people. So when I do a show, I would never do a show just with the intent, oh, I want to go out and sing and put on a dress and show off. Nope. It's not about just entertaining. I want to actually make a commitment to that audience and be with them in that moment and give them
Hmm.
an experience. And for me, that's why COVID is so messed up right now, because I love to go into the audience and give them the microphone to sing along with me, or, you get them involved in some way, shape, or form. And it becomes like a family thing, like we're all in this together, and it gives you a moment in time. So the quote that I always go back to is that may every place that your feet trod or any space that you occupy be better off simply because you passed through. And that's it. So my legacy, I would hope, is in love in everything that I do, and to inspire people just to know that there's some good that can come out of anything that you do. And even with this song, I'm hoping that it just encourages people in some way, shape, or form to know you're not alone.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. Well, thank you so much for your words of encouragement. And we can't wait again for the song to drop. I know I'm excited, and I know your audience are too. I've seen your audience grow incredibly just from, in love. There's a risk to where you are now. So I know there are people who are waiting to hear this. And I know without a doubt, you're going to love it. So make sure you check out Mary Cross, right? Listen, before we leave, because I don't want to make these interviews too long, but I think we touched on a lot of great things. I want you to talk about just a little bit your journey when it comes to advice that you could give independent artists who are trying to do some of the things you've done. I know I know you're a mom. I know you're working full time. You're doing
Yeah.
music. It's a
Yeah.
lot. So, what advice would you give to indie artists who are trying to do some of the things that you're doing in this business?
Yeah, the primary thing is you have to be true to yourself. You have to know what you can and can't commit to. And then
Hmm.
when you're deciding to do it, you gotta make sure that this is what you want to do. And you
Hmm.
can't let other people deter you. We're not always going to agree, as you said earlier, about anything, but this is your
Right.
brand and your life and your decision. And I think that you just have to stay true to that. So you're going to have to work long hours. You're going to have to stay up late at night. You're going to make sacrifices. You're going to have to sometimes decide what decisions you're going to make that affects your family or your time or what have you. But in all things, you have to endure. Just say, no matter what, I'm with this thing. I really, really, really am committed. And if you're committed to it, it will work for you. I mean, made room for me and my
Hmm.
gifts. I mean,
Hmm.
seriously, I wasn't planning to do this or even go in this direction. And I'm just so grateful to the fan base and everybody who's been supporting me. I'm grateful, and grateful to you for your work, great work on the last two songs that we've done, the ballads. I'm not even talking about the vote anthem.
Well, thank you so much, Mary. I'm excited. And again,
Yes.
January the 8th, 2021. We're here, y'all. We made it. We need to
We made
celebrate
it.
that also. Um, Make sure you pick it up. Promise. It's going to be on all social media platforms. And
Absolutely.
looking forward to a wonderful year. And Mary, looking look forward to doing more great things with you. I'm excited about your career, and I know it's going to take off. So,
I
meeting
appreciate it.
you, God
Thank
bless.
you so
Yep.
much. Thank you. God bless you too. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.